Welcome back to the month of miracles. We're glad you're here. It is November 21st of 2022, and we have an amazing miracle story again for you today. For those of you who have been with us the whole month, thank you for being with us again. Thank you for joining and for sharing with your friends the things that you're learning here. Feel free to comment in the Zoom chat, or you can comment on the YouTube comments if you find something that's reaching out to you or something that you're learning through the Spirit as we talk. Feel free to engage in those comments, and our guests can go back and watch them later, and we can see what is coming up for you. So thank you very much for being here. This is a month of miracles, and we're grateful that you're here. Mondays and Fridays, we do a miracle story at 10:30 a.m. and we share the way that God has showed up in our lives in big miracles and in small miracles, and just really focusing on gratitude, but not just gratitude in the way that he shows up in miracles in all the different ways. And then on Wednesday, we have our last Q&A coaching session. So you're welcome to come and join us, bring your miracles and the things you're working on, and we will talk to you and give you all the resources and the support and the guidance, the coaching that you need to get into that miracle mindset so that you can receive the miracles that you're seeking. So today we have an amazing guest for you. She's my dear friend. I don't even know how long we've been friends. It's been a long time, but it's been a beautiful journey. Her name is Lydia Taggart. She helps women communicate and create amazing relationships with her relationship renewal system. She loves baking bread, dancing, and singing off key. She has 6 kids, including quadruplets, and she has been married to her best friend for 26 years. So let me bring her up here. And here she comes. Here she comes. Yay. Hi, Lydia.
Hi. Yay. We have been friends for a long time.
Yeah, I don't even know. It's been a lot of years, like probably going on 8-ish. 6,
I'm
8.
not keeping track. It's probably longer than we mortally can figure out. Yeah.
We are angel friends. We've been friends at the beginning of forever, and we found each other 7 or 8 years ago. So she has a really cool story today to share with us about her son and how she helped him learn how to talk after the trauma of bringing home quadruplets. If you think about it, like quadruplets, that's 4 babies at the same time. When I first heard that, she's like, I have quads. I'm like, you what? And it's amazing. And it's just been so cool for me to get to know her and the joy and the love that she has in her heart and the way that she leads her family, and that she's reaching out to help other people to be able to have peace in their home and strong relationships as well. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Miss Lydia. Go ahead and share your. We'll go 20-25 minutes here, and then those of you who are on YouTube, we will actually cut off the YouTube stream after Lydia's story, and we will have a live Q&A right afterwards where you can talk to her. So I'm going to update my name, and I'll put the URL in there, so you can go to learnlivefly.com/miracles, and if you go there, you can register and it'll send you the Zoom link, and you can even hop over halfway through if you want to come into the Zoom room and be here live while she's talking, and then you'll be here for the Q&A after. So, take it away, Miss Lydia.
All right, awesome. So we had actually 2 kids before we had the quads. They were 4 years old and 3 years old when we brought all the 4 home from the hospital. And it was quite stressful. My oldest totally shut down, stopped talking, couldn't get him to say anything at all. And when I talked to the doctor, he just kind of laughed and said, yeah, you just need to spend more time with him. Good luck with that. And so I took him to the grocery store. Oh, is my man?
That wasn't for you. I changed my name, so the URL's in there.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, just look down there. That's where the link is.
Down there. Register.
Go hide now so I don't distract Lydia.
I am easily distracted. So I took my son to the grocery store thinking if I let him choose the kind of ice cream we're going to have, then he would totally talk to me and tell me what flavor he wanted, but he didn't. He just pointed and meowed like a cat. Meow. I thought, oh, maybe he wants cereal. What kind of cereal do you want? Meow. What do I do? And through this process, we had our second son, who's totally the opposite, going very verbal and making sure that we weren't going to forget him as the middle child. You know, there's that middle child syndrome that you got to make sure you're not forgotten. And he was telling me all sorts of stuff, making up his own swear words. You're just a flush down the toilet. He was very creative. And so I ended up taking him, the one that was acting out, to a psychiatrist, psychologist. one of those. And we had been through several doctors, and the last one had said, "Oh, this is such a special case. I'm not qualified. You need to go to someone special." And so I went there and I spilled all my whole story to him. And then after 45 minutes, he says, "Now, wait a minute. Did you say you have quadruplets? Well, there's your problem." I knew that. I knew that part already. How do I get my kids to be nice to each other and to talk and not call each other names and not call me names? And he said, "Well, you're the mom." And oh, it still gets me. I had been kind of in denial of actually being the mom. It sounds kind of crazy, but I needed so much help. And I had been praying, and when he said, "You're the mom," I took my prayers to a totally different level. I said, "Okay, Heavenly Father, you sent this to me. What do I need to do?" And we, I was also going to college and was studying Maslow's hierarchy of needs and what does he need? And I realized how that correlates to communicating. We don't feel like we belong because we don't have the structure, we don't feel safe, and all these different steps. And so I actually was given the miracle of the frame formula, the framing our communication. And when I was able to make my son feel safe, because he didn't know where he was going to be, he didn't know who was feeding him or if he was having pizza brought in, if he's going to be at grandma's or a neighbor's. He didn't know anything. I knew. We had a plan. Everybody had signed up and was scheduled on the schedule, but I never thought to tell him. He was only 4 years old. Why would I tell a 4-year-old the whole big, giant, overwhelming plan? And as soon as I figured out, oh, he doesn't feel safe, we started putting a sticky note on the fridge every morning. And I said, "Okay, Stephen, you're going to grandma's today. She's going to feed you peanut butter and jelly." Next day, "Okay, you're going to the neighbor's today. She's going to feed you spaghetti." And the next day, "You're going to the park with a neighbor friend." Whatever it was, within a week, he started talking, just like nothing had ever happened before. And I find we need that safety more now than ever, to be able to connect with each other, to communicate our needs, and also to receive the personal revelation and miracles that are coming. We just need to feel safe. And so here's a picture of my family. It's really real. They're there. That's what they looked like a couple of years ago when I wrote the book. And now, it's so amazing to even think about it. He's 21. My oldest is 21 now. He has served a service mission. And at first, we were thinking that he was going to just go do a regular mission where you go out and talk to people and knock on doors, because he thought he was comfortable enough with that communicating that he could go be normal. But we all know nothing is normal, right? There's no such thing as normal. But miracles just keep coming. They're everywhere. And so this was another miracle for us, that he was serving from home in different, I'm an emotional person today. He was serving from home and going down to Salt Lake City to help. He was processing things through email. And then COVID happened, and he would not have been okay. We thought he was okay to go, but he would not have been okay during COVID. And what a blessing. And that's such a good miracle for us. But he was able to continue serving from home. He went to different places, he had transfers, and went and was helping people donate at the Deseret Industries. And then he went to a cannery where they manufacture food. And he was actually training other volunteers on how to use the equipment and things, which, coming from pointing and meowing, and his 3rd grade teacher saying he's never going to make it, and one of his file holders in junior high saying, "I wouldn't try talking to him. He wouldn't talk to me if I tried." These other people didn't know how to make him feel safe. And he felt safe on his mission enough to lead and teach and inspire other people. And it's amazing. It's just amazing to me. All the miracles, they just keep coming.
Up there so I can see you too. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Can you tell us, like, what was that like for you? So sometimes we say, oh, this was what happened, you know, now he's talking, but what was the mental, emotional journey you were going through at that phase of life when you're like, I'm trying to take care of 4 babies. I'm really grateful these people are helping, but at the same time, I feel like I'm in chaos, but I'm not, but I'm in structured chaos, but it still feels like chaos, you know? So I'm sure inside of you, you were feeling like just trying to keep track of all of the things. And so then to be like, oh, wait, I need to slow down and just tell you this nugget every day. I know I had a moment with the kids years ago that was like that, like remember learning, oh, wait, I didn't understand what that calendar was. It was just in my head.
That's right. And a lot of times he'll tell me, well, I told you, blah, 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 whatever it is. I'm like, I think you just thought that. And we always do that, right? I do that all the time. I was like, didn't I tell you? No, I just thought that I told you, because we play it out in our minds. Like, I'm going to go talk to somebody and I got to tell them something. And then I was like, I didn't actually do it. I only thought about it. Yeah, so at the time, like I said, I was in denial and I was really struggling with me being like able and worthy and capable to handle all of it. And I'm sure there's a lot of people, I mean, not everybody has quads, but everybody has something that we feel overwhelmed with. Everybody feels at some point that there's just more than we can handle. And I had turned to God, and just wasn't really listening though. And I had another experience of not listening when I was much younger. And I thought that I'd gotten over the not listening, but I fell back into it. And uh, I was just depressed. Like, these aren't my kids. I need the whole neighbor. They're the neighborhood's kids. They're not mine. They're the whole, everybody in the community. And I just, you can't do it by yourself. And that's the real struggle. We try to do things by ourselves, but Heavenly Father is just waiting there to give us a miracle. It's like, if you let me, here it is. Just let me give it to you. So one day I was like not getting out of bed. I was like, so like, I'm just the mom. And this was before I had taken my kids to the doctor that said you're the mom. So my neighbor dragged me out to a neighborhood event and was introducing me to someone who had been helping us, and she was taking care of the other 2 while I was on bed rest and everything. And she introduced me as, you know, she's a lady with all those kids. And I'm not even the mom anymore. I'm just a lady with all those kids. I'm just, and I was going back into this tunnel and just darkness around me, like, oh, I'm nothing. And I heard God speak to me. He said, no, Lydia, I gave you these people because you need the help. It's not because of anything else. It's because you need it. And the woman that she was introducing me to asked me what my name was. And I was like, she wants to know my name. Not only am I the mom, I'm Lydia. I'm still me. We have all these experiences layered onto us that add to us, not define us. I mean, when the kids grow up and move out and have their own families, I'm still going to be Lydia. I'm not going to be the mom chasing after all the toddlers my whole life, right? And it was so crazy. It changed my perspective drastically to know that I mattered as a person, not just because I could take care of all the chaos and I was letting people help, which was really, really hard. It's the hardest thing to let people help. But knowing that I am important at the core as a person, just because I'm me and everything else is extra. extra blessings, extra challenges, extra learning experiences, just extra. And that really calmed me a lot. And knowing that my prayers are being answered, even when I'm not listening, even when I'm not asking out loud for help. Like I had given up. I'm like, these are the neighbor's kids. These are everybody's kids. Everybody's taking care of them. Everybody's praying. And it's just crazy it's just, there's like not even a word for it. It's a miracle. So that was another miracle too, be able to actually have that communication from God to me personally.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Okay, so if you were talking to a mom today and she was overwhelmed with kids that were fighting or weren't doing what they wanted, and like life was feeling like it was in chaos, and like I'm losing control of my house, I can't do the things that I feel called to do, and my home isn't a happy place where I want to be all the time, what would you tell that mom? Obviously not assuming she has quads, because that's really rare, but in the fact that, like, what would your advice be? What would you say to help her?
Just remember that you're important, you matter, everything else is added on to you, and it will pass. It doesn't feel like it will, but it does. And I used to hate it when people told me that. They're like, oh, just wait till they're teenagers. I'm like, are you serious? Wait till they're teenagers? That sounds so much worse. But you're here for a purpose, on purpose. And no one else can be a better mom for those kids. They were sent to you on purpose because of what you have for them and what they have for you. I've learned so much from my kids, so much to learn from just having the kids. They bring up, oh, like yesterday, I was noticing they're 17 now. And one of my kids, Evan, was saying something that I've been saying for a while. I was like, wait, you listened to that? What? And then he said it again this morning. I was like, I don't know if it's good or bad, or if I should tell him to change and repent and forgive me, please, and all that stuff. But they know that you love them if you give them time. So we think that everything is so chaos. And one of the most important things that I did when they were younger, for me to have a little more sanity, 5 minutes, set the timer, lock the door in the bathroom, whatever you got to do, 5 minutes of I'm here for me. Breathe, pray, listen, read scriptures, listen to a song, but 5 minutes a day literally changes everything. And it sounds so simple, it's way too easy, but it's like if you were asked to do something big, you try to do something big. But you don't have to. You can do just 5 minutes a day. And when our oldest, so we didn't know at the time, I think I skipped this part. He was diagnosed with autism later, high functioning autism. But when he was a baby, I could not console him, even when he was the only one. And so it doesn't matter if you have 6 kids or 1 kid, you have the one. We're all so important as individuals. And I couldn't console him. And finally, one day, I put him in his crib and I said, you're going to be okay. You're in a safe place. You could just cry right there. I got to go to the bathroom by myself. I got to catch my breath. And I was like, this is my last resort. So I put him down and I walked out of the room and I closed the door and he stopped crying. We're like, that's all you need? And I opened the door. I said, are you okay? And he's like, looked at me and went, oh no, you're back. Ah! I started crying again. Okay. So from then on, anytime he would start to fuss and cry, I was like, you need your safe place. You need to be alone. There you go. And it solved all the stuff. So it can be something simple, but really we need to take that time alone for ourselves. And we need to let our kids have some time by themselves too. It's a totally different mindset than what we've been taught, most of us, that if someone's crying, you got to pick them up and carry them around and love on them. It's not always true.
And I love the personal, that it's my child, but it's God's child first. And so
Yes.
like independently, one at a time, he's going to teach you what you need for that kid in that moment. And it might be different than what they need next week, but today, this is what they need in this moment. And I feel like it keeps bringing us back to that personal revelation. That is the key. If we are connected this way, then we can get and receive whatever it is that we need in the moment for whatever's next for that child. And like I
Totally.
remember one day, it was probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was doing my morning scripture study or something, sitting here in my office. My kids weren't awake yet. I had sent one off to high school and the other one was going to wake up in a minute. And I was like, okay, God, what is it I need to do? And I was like going through my kids. What does this kid need today? And I got, this child just needs a hug. They need you to hold them this morning. And I went in to wake him up and he woke up like frantic, had a bad dream. He was having a hard time. And it was the craziest thing because I was like, God told me 10 minutes ago that you just really needed me to hold you today. And he's like, really? Like, yeah. And so it was just so cool to be like, he prepared a way ahead. So instead of me being like, oh, hurry, let's get ready for school, it was like, oh, we're just going to be present for this minute. And it makes all the difference.
Oh, it really does. And I teach about the magical pause. With our oldest, he takes a little bit longer to process his thoughts before he speaks. And so a lot of times that's why the teachers didn't realize that he's thinking, he's paying attention. He doesn't want to look at you. He doesn't want to draw attention, but he's thinking and he's processing and he evaluates all of his words differently. So it takes longer. So you got to pause and wait for him to like, okay, they're really going to listen to me. It's okay for me to speak. And one day I had my younger boy, Brendan, and he's the opposite. He'll just keep talking and talking and talking. And I really wanted to interrupt him and be like, what do you need? Why are you here talking to me? And I thought, no, just listen, use that pause for him too. And his was kind of the opposite, but the same purpose. He was talking to see if I was really going to listen. And he got to a point where he just all of a sudden stopped. He was like, Mom, I got to talk to you about something. I was like, holy cow, it's the same thing. If they're not talking or if they are talking, we just need to pause sometimes and give them a chance to feel like we're really, really there for them and really going to listen.
I love that. And sometimes we're internal processors, which is your one child, and sometimes we're external. And we just need to talk it out loud because somehow we can make the connections when we're speaking out loud. And they love that. And they just have grace and space.
Oh, yes.
Allow them to be who they need to be and express what they need to express. And it allows them to feel safe to talk about the hard.
And give that to ourselves as well. Because we forget that we are also children of God. We're always going to be children, and we never grow out of some of these needs. We always need to feel safe. We always need to feel connected. We always need to feel valued and worth someone's time. And I recognize this pattern of, I got off a phone call with a client this morning, a new client. I was like, this happened again. It's the same thing. And she's been praying. She's religious, but she forgot that she matters. And all of my like 5-6 clients that I've had recently, they all have the same thing where they feel like they were a mistake or they can't do anything right, or so far as like, I just really want to kill myself, but I know that that's not okay, and just miserable. And the solution is remembering that you're here on purpose for a purpose. No matter what else is going on, the only opinion that truly matters is what God thinks of you, and He sent you here on purpose.
Beautiful. Well, and I find sometimes, like as busy moms, we feel like there's things all the different directions. We're being pulled all the different ways. But if we can shift, like not that I have to do something different, but it's how I do the thing that I'm doing. So if I can say, I'm going to be joyful today, I'm going to joyfully make breakfast, I'm going to joyfully wash the dishes and do the laundry and drive to the school 4 times today or 12 times today or whatever that looks like. But if we can choose the attitude, the intention with which we do the thing, and that it changes everything.
Oh, absolutely. And being willing to have things done differently. Like the goal is to have the dishes done. It doesn't matter if they're done with the dishes stacked exactly right, the way I would stack them in the dishwasher. Or like we have different ways of drying the dishes. So when we're doing the big pots and pans, things that don't fit in the dishwasher, I like to do it this way. And my kids and my husband do it different. Everybody has their own version of it, but the end goal, and I think if we remember the end goal of any kind of relationship is to love and support them and not judge them or like, oh, I had this experience this like at Halloween, however many weeks ago that was. My kids are old enough that they have jobs now and they have their own money. And one of them wanted to spend some money on a Halloween costume prop, like an aid that goes with it. And I was like, okay, that's the stupidest thing in the world. And it's $200. What? This is his money. This is his choice. All right. Sounds great. You've researched it. And he did. He told me all of the different sites that he'd researched on the internet and everything. And he put a lot of thought into it. I was like, this is important to him. It doesn't matter if it's important to me. It's important to him. And he loves this thing that he got. He's still using it and playing with it. And it's a good thing because I was like, that's $200.
Yeah, it's an agency. Agency is real. Like we have to honor it for ourselves and we have to honor it for others. And like even one of my kids, I was talking to them the other day. I'm like, we just need to not make it wrong. Like if you slept in, you don't need to be mad at yourself because you slept in 10 minutes. Like instead, don't make it wrong and just say, I'm really grateful I got more sleep. I'm grateful that God's going to help me and we're still going to be at school on time and I'm going to be really fast and my brain's going to be more awake. And like finding the blessing in every second.
Yes, finding the blessing in every second because every second has a miracle in it. It really does. If we look for it, then we will find it. I post on Facebook all the time. I believe in miracles. My entire life is a miracle after miracle after miracle. Um, and I have one friend who every single time will respond, I don't believe in miracles. I rely on miracles. And it is so true. So true. We really rely on them. Um, and at unforeseen times, I think one of the miracles that I've been blessed with is being able to recognize how God speaks to me. And I've used the frame formula not just to talk with my kids, but also to communicate with heaven. And like, do I feel safe enough to tell Heavenly Father what I really feel? Well, he knows stuff, but going through this process, been able to recognize and practice recognizing how God speaks to me. And he speaks to us in different ways. He speaks to us all in our own language. When you have love languages, you have learning languages, you have all these different languages, and he'll speak to us in the way that we can understand. And if we don't, or this is what happened when I was younger, I had been ignoring all the little hints and the promptings and the feelings. And I looked at my husband, I met him and I looked at him and he looked in my eyes and love at first sight. But oh no, I thought I was marrying someone else. Oh no, what is this? I can't have feelings for Steve because I'm supposed to marry that other guy. And I spent a week earnestly praying, what's going on? What's going on? Why can't I a little bit? And if we're not paying attention or not listening, if we sincerely, earnestly, really, really want to know, God will yell at us and make sure we get the message. Because I was going through that process and freak out. And very, very clear in my mind was I heard the voice, Lydia, stop asking and let me answer you. Oh, okay. And I heard him tell me, remember this? And it was like I relived every experience. and felt the feelings again. He was like, remember when you felt uncomfortable this time? Remember when this happened? Remember this, remember that. All these different ways I was trying to tell you all along that this guy's bad news and you're not supposed to be with him. And remember this. And so finally, I just was like, okay, I'll try to listen. I'm sorry. I won't marry him. And it wasn't about having feelings for my husband, but it was about listening and like, I wasn't listening. Okay, I promise. Can you just stop telling me all the stuff that I did wrong? And then it was silent in my mind. I was like, okay, that's spooky. It was like scary. And I tiptoed around the house. I was like so careful. I was like, I'm not going to think anything because I'm going to make that voice come back and tell me all this stuff again. And then there was a knock on the door, and Steve was there holding a gift. And he just got back from a vacation and he thought to bring me a souvenir. I had known him, I don't know, like a week, but he was out of town for the whole week while I was praying, right? And so I sat down next to him and was like, okay, I'm really careful here. I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to think anything. Don't want to make that voice come back. And the voice came back anyway. And he said, look at him. I was like, okay, whatever you say. Yes, sir. This is who you're supposed to marry, not that other guy. I've got this man is reserved for you. I was like, miracles all over the place. But I think it really, really stems from knowing who we are and knowing that God loves us as individuals. Or if I've learned anything having quadruplets, it's that we are individuals. We are individual spirits and we all matter. And God is trying to bless us.
Thank you so much, Lydia, for being with us. I appreciate you a million times. And will you let people know if they're listening to you and they're like, well, what is this book and what is this frame formula and how do I talk to you when she is done? Will you just show your book? Tell us a little bit about what it is and where they can find it, where they can connect to you. And then we'll let our YouTube friends go and hop over to the live part at the end here.
Totally. It is called The Frame Formula. And this one is your parenting source to communicate like it's your superpower. It has, this is my author's copy. So I've got things highlighted in it. There's pages for notes, and it just walks through, the acronym frame is freedom to speak, respect and honor, action and accountability, making meaningful moments, and then everyone wins. It's what we have done to communicate. And it's not very long. It's a quick, easy read, but it's more like a workbook. It has steps in it to work on. And it's at theframeformula.com on Amazon. And my email is lydia@lydiataggart.com. If anyone has any other questions, you can find me on Facebook. I'm Lydia. I'm on TikTok. I don't go there very often, but I am Lydia Taggart. I was lucky to get all of the handles Lydia Taggart. If you're looking for me on Instagram, it's Lydia Taggart. But I mostly play on Facebook or really just an email. I do a lot of one-on-one stuff most of the time. It's my favorite.
Mine too. I get it. It's so good to like see and hear somebody's soul and like be able to help on that level where it's customized. It's beautiful. Yeah. And I can vouch for Lydia and her character. She's amazing. So if you're connected or you feel called to Lydia, go find her because she's amazing and she will help you, I'm sure. So for those of you, thank you so much for being here, and we'll let you hop off so you're not looking awkwardly while I say goodbye to our friends. Bye. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, for those of you on YouTube, you can look down there. I'm getting better at where I'm supposed to point here at learnlivefly.com/miracles, and you can register and then you can hop over to Zoom. If you want to hop in right now, we have about 15-20 minutes. We'll talk with Lydia and be able to ask any questions, something that had to do with what she talked about or something totally different that just came to your mind, whatever the spirit guides. And it's just like we're hanging out on the couch talking like friends, and we'll share whatever we can to help you in whatever situation that you're in. So thank you so much for being with us. We'll say goodbye to our YouTube friends and we'll hop over to the Zoom.